When wiring a 208 volts three-phase compressor with a starter that runs off a pressure switch, it's crucial to adhere to standard electrical practices in the National Electrical Code, or NEC, to ensure safety and proper operation. The specific concern revolves around the use of a white wire as a current-carrying conductor for the motor starter, which is generally not permitted and can create hazardous conditions. Let's delve into the correct wiring configuration and the reasons why the observed setup is potentially problematic. Firstly, understand the basic components. There are three motor leads, typically labeled A, B, and C, which supply the three-phase power to the compressor motor. There's also a control circuit that actuates the motor starter, typically using a pressure switch to control the compressor's operation based on pressure levels. The white wire, according to electrical code, is typically reserved for the neutral conductor in alternating current or AC circuits, or as an identified grounded conductor. Using it as a current-carrying conductor for the motor starter violates this principle and can cause confusion and safety hazards for anyone working on the electrical system. The proper way to wire the motor starter involves using the three motor leads, A, B, and C, to supply power to the motor itself. Then a separate wire, often a different color than white, should be used for the control circuit. This control wire connects to the coil of the motor starter and is switched by the pressure switch. The pressure switch acts as an on-off switch for the control circuit, energizing or de-energizing the starter coil, which in turn engages or disengages the motor. Now, let's address why using the white wire as a current-carrying conductor for the motor starter is a violation of the NEC and a potential safety hazard. There are several reasons. 1. Identification of conductors. The NEC requires that conductors be identified by color to indicate their purpose. Using a white wire for anything other than a neutral or grounded conductor violates this requirement and can lead to confusion during troubleshooting or maintenance. 2. Potential for electric shock. If the white wire is used as a current-carrying conductor and someone assumes it is a neutral, they could be exposed to a shock hazard. This is especially true if the white wire is not properly insulated or if it comes into contact with grounded metal surfaces. 3. Risk of motor continuing to run. If the white wire becomes damaged or disconnected, it could result in the motor continuing to run even when the pressure switch is off. This could create a dangerous situation for anyone working on or near the compressor, as they may not be able to shut it down quickly in an emergency. 4. NEC violations. Using the white wire as a current-carrying conductor violates specific sections of the NEC, which could result in fines or other penalties if the installation is inspected. For example, NEC Section 200.7 generally prohibits the use of white or grey wire for other than identified grounded conductors, unless specific conditions are met, such as permanent re-identification with colored tape or paint at each termination point. However, even with re-identification, it's generally best practice to avoid using white wires for ungrounded conductors in motor control circuits. The correct wiring practice ensures that the white wire is reserved for its intended purpose as a neutral or grounded conductor, and a separate wire of a different color is used for the control circuit. This not only complies with the NEC but also enhances the safety and reliability of the electrical system. To further clarify, let's consider a step-by-step approach to wiring the motor starter correctly. 1. Disconnect power. Before starting any electrical work, always disconnect power to the circuit at the circuit breaker or disconnect switch. This is crucial to prevent electric shock. 2. Identify motor leads. Identify the three motor leads A, B, and C coming from the panel. These will typically be labeled or color-coded. 3. Connect motor leads to starter. Connect the motor leads to the corresponding terminals on the motor starter. The starter will have terminals labeled for each phase. 4. Run separate control wire. Run a separate wire, preferably a different color than white, from the panel to the pressure switch. This will be the control wire for the starter coil. 5. Connect control wire to pressure switch. Connect the control wire to one side of the pressure switch. 6. Connect pressure switch to starter coil. Connect the other side of the pressure switch to the starter coil. The starter coil will have two terminals, one for the control wire and one for the neutral or ground. 7. Connect neutral or ground to starter coil. Connect the neutral or ground wire to the other terminal on the starter coil. This provides a return path for the control circuit. 8. Test the circuit. After completing the wiring, carefully test the circuit to ensure it is working properly. Turn on the power and observe the compressor operation. The compressor should start and stop in response to the pressure switch. By following these steps and adhering to the NEC, you can ensure that the motor starter is wired correctly and safely. It's also important to consider the wire size for the control circuit. While a #10 wire might be acceptable in some cases, the appropriate wire size should be determined based on the current draw of the starter coil and the length of the wire run. Using a wire that is too small can result in voltage drop and overheating, which can damage the starter coil or create a fire hazard. Consult the NEC and the manufacturer's specifications for the starter to determine the appropriate wire size. In addition to the wiring configuration and wire size, it's also important to consider the overcurrent protection for the motor circuit. The NEC requires that motor circuits be protected by overcurrent devices such as circuit breakers or fuses to prevent damage to the motor and wiring in the event of a short circuit or overload. The size of the overcurrent devices should be determined based on the motor's nameplate current rating and the type of motor. Consult the NEC for specific requirements. Another important aspect is proper grounding. The motor, starter, and any metal enclosures should be properly grounded to provide a path for fault current in the event of a ground fault. This helps to prevent electric shock and minimize the risk of fire. The grounding conductor should be sized according to the NEC and connected to a grounding electrode system. Furthermore, it's essential to ensure that all electrical connections are tight and secure. Loose connections can cause overheating, voltage drop, and arcing, which can damage equipment and create a fire hazard. Use appropriate connectors and tools to make secure connections and periodically inspect the connections to ensure they remain tight. Proper labeling is also crucial for safety and maintenance. Label all wires, terminals, and components to clearly identify their purpose. This makes it easier to troubleshoot problems and perform maintenance in the future. Use a permanent labeling method that is resistant to fading or damage. In summary, when wiring a 208 volts 3-phase compressor with a starter, adhere to the following key principles. 1. Use separate wires for the motor leads and the control circuit. Do not use the white wire as a current carrying conductor for the motor starter. 2. Follow the NEC requirements for conductor identification, overcurrent protection, grounding, and wire size. 3. Make sure all electrical connections are tight and secure. 4. Label all wires, terminals, and components clearly. 5. Test the circuit thoroughly after completing the wiring. By following these guidelines, you can ensure that the motor starter is wired correctly and safely, protecting both people and equipment. Remember, electrical work can be dangerous, and it's always best to consult with a qualified electrician if you have any doubts or concerns. Improper wiring can lead to serious injury or property damage. Now let's consider some specific scenarios and how to address them. Firstly, what if the existing wiring uses a white wire for the control circuit? In this case, the best practice is to rewire the circuit using a separate wire for the control circuit. If rewiring is not feasible, the white wire can be re-identified using colored tape or paint at each termination point as permitted by the NEC. However, it's still preferable to rewire the circuit if possible. Secondly, what if the pressure switch is located far from the motor starter? In this case, it may be necessary to use a larger wire size for the control circuit to compensate for voltage drop. Consult the NEC and a qualified electrician to determine the appropriate wire size. Thirdly, what if the starter coil requires a different voltage than the supply voltage? In this case, a control transformer may be needed to step down the voltage to the required level. The control transformer should be sized appropriately for the starter coil and protected by overcurrent devices. Fourthly, what if the compressor is located in a hazardous location? In this case, special precautions must be taken to prevent explosions or fires. Use explosion-proof equipment and wiring methods as required by the NEC. Fifthly, What if the compressor is part of a larger system with multiple motors and controls? In this case, it's important to coordinate the wiring and control schemes to ensure that all components work together safely and reliably. Consult with a qualified engineer or electrician to design and install the system. In addition to these specific scenarios, it's also important to consider the overall condition of the electrical system. Are the wires and components in good condition? Are there any signs of damage or deterioration? If the electrical system is old or poorly maintained, it may be necessary to upgrade it to ensure safety and reliability. This could involve replacing old wiring, installing new overcurrent protection devices, or upgrading the grounding system. Remember, a properly wired and maintained electrical system is essential for the safe and reliable operation of the compressor. Don't cut corners or take shortcuts when it comes to electrical work. Always follow the NEC and best practices, and consult with a qualified electrician if you have any questions or concerns. Finally, let's touch upon some common mistakes to avoid when wiring a 208 volts 3-phase compressor with a starter. 1. Using undersized wires. Using wires that are too small can result in voltage drop, overheating, and fire hazards. Always use the appropriate wire size as determined by the NEC and the manufacturer's specifications. 2. Making loose connections. Loose connections can cause overheating, voltage drop, and arcing. Always make sure all electrical connections are tight and secure. 3. Failing to ground the equipment properly. Improper grounding can create a shock hazard and increase the risk of fire. Always ground the motor, starter, and any metal enclosures properly. 4. Neglecting overcurrent protection. Overcurrent protection devices protect the motor and wiring from damage in the event of a short circuit or overload. Always install the appropriate overcurrent protection devices as required by the NEC. 5. Ignoring the NEC. The NEC provides detailed requirements for electrical installations. Always follow the NEC and best practices when wiring a compressor. 6. Failing to label wires and components. Proper labeling makes it easier to troubleshoot problems and perform maintenance. Always label all wires, terminals, and components clearly. 7. Working on live circuits. Working on live circuits can be extremely dangerous. Always disconnect power to the circuit before starting any electrical work. 8. Using improper tools. Using the wrong tools can damage equipment and increase the risk of injury. Always use the appropriate tools for the job. 9. Not testing the circuit after completion. Testing the circuit after completing the wiring ensures that it is working properly. Always test the circuit before putting the compressor into operation. By avoiding these common mistakes and following the guidelines outlined in this discussion, you can show that your 208 volts 3-phase compressor is wired correctly and safely. Remember, electrical safety is paramount, and it's always best to err on the side of caution. When in doubt, consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that the work is done properly and safely. This thorough approach not only guarantees compliance with the NEC but also significantly enhances the longevity and reliability of the compressor system.